Hello everyone and welcome to yet another edition of Aid and Mike's Monday Night Wars with Aid and Mike, obviously. Sup. So this week is the 18th of September 1995. Obviously watched it on Sunday, can't remember a lot of it now, so we'll see what's going on. But before we get on that,
there's a lot to talk about, isn't there? There's a general election.
There is a general election happening over here in the UK.
We're not going to talk about
No, we're not going to talk about it. I mean, I'd suggest you vote if you haven't, but
I'd say
I don't really... See, I would. I would say vote. Not because I think it'll make any difference. Not because, your vote matters. It doesn't. Just if in 2 years' time everything goes to shit and you've not voted and you're moaning, someone can go, yeah, but did you vote?
Just lie, then.
Yeah, I mean, you could just lie, but it's just, for your own peace of mind... If you want to be able to complain, just make sure you vote. That's my system. But actually, as a general thing, just on elections and voting, I think it's best covered by that South Park episode where they're voting for a new school mascot. Like, if you've not seen it, just go out and watch it. That covers the whole election process to a T. So, yeah, watch that would be my advice. Right,
so when I started doing this, I've been pretty whacked out during the first few times we did this. So I went on the network and I looked at the date of when the first Nitro was. So I thought, okay, that's week 1. I'll add 2 weeks because that will be the second week.
Third week?
Third week. No, sorry, I'll add 1 week. That's what I thought when I was doing this.
Yeah.
So I, put on that episode of Raw, and then it was SummerSlam 2 weeks ago, when the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels and the bad guy Razor Ramon climbed the ladder and engaged in one of the greatest matches in WWE history. Sweating emotion and dripping determination, these two gladiators took on a grueling roller coaster ride of intestinal fortitude, filled with heart, filled with integrity and showmanship. Only the superstars of the new WWE generation, it said WWF, see, that's how brainwashed I am now, can deliver. When all was said and done, and with the Intercontinental title on the line, and the destiny of facing a psychopath hanging in the balance, only one of the mighty combatants would be named the victor. Tonight, that same victor, Shawn Michaels, defends the same Intercontinental Championship against Psycho Sid. Psycho Sid vies to tear down the Heartbreak Hotel by not only claiming the champion's gold, but permanently darkening his blinding, spectacular spotlight.
Okay. Just in case anyone isn't clear, that's actually last week's Raw.
I still kept watching.
Mike has watched the wrong episode of Raw. Tell me you watched the correct episode afterwards.
Yeah, but it was halfway through the first match when I clocked on.
Fair enough. I mean, as long as you clocked on eventually, I think we're okay.
But because I was in dark times when I watched it the first time around,
yeah,
that was incredible.
Good old McMahon.
Does this exist anymore?
I've not seen it. I mean, intestinal fortitude as a term seems to have gone away.
Darkening his blinding, spectacular spotlight.
Yeah, they were big on Shawn.
Sweating emotion and dripping determination.
I mean, we all saw it, Mike. We all saw it. Anyway, so we move on to the actual week. So, just quickly in news and sport, on a weekly basis, there is apparently not a lot of news. One thing I did pick up, I found this website that you can look through, it does like what happened on various days.
Seems to do it for the year though in the ones I've been...
No, I found a good one, I'll show it you. It does obviously it doesn't do every day, it just does, it goes through and obviously it has them and it has the date that they happened. One of the things I've picked up is, I don't know if it's just 95, I don't know if it was this period of 95, but it seems like baseball records get broken on like a weekly basis. Well, there's always someone breaking one.
Juicing in that period.
Possibly, but these are weirdos I've never heard of, mate.
Wasn't that period for baseball like the 80s was for athletics?
For Wild Wild West.
There's a lot of taking the piss out of that in South Park, isn't there?
There is, yeah, and maybe it is, but like they're weird records as well, like but obviously there's a lot of shit going on in baseball, so there's a lot of records. like records, like, you know, consecutive pitches without a hit and stuff like that. They're tumbling all the time, like all the bloody time. But anyway, other than that, in real sport, basically now happened this week, as far as I could make out. I think the only thing that could even be classified as sport was the women's US Open golf happened, or something along those lines.
Don't want to say anything that might upset people. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, what I would say is women's golf is.
Don't say anything. Leave it there. Yeah.
Nah, it's just It's not got a massive public spotlight, so you know people probably wouldn't know who was who 22 years ago. But
was that Laura Davis around?
I don't know, Mike.
She's the only one I know.
I know.
I don't know that many male golfers though either. I do actually. I'm just pretending.
Yeah, I mean when you start thinking about it, they pop up all the time. Yeah. So anyway, in real actual news,
I'm not a chauvinist.
No one is. But speaking of that, Miss America was this week.
That's more my speed.
It is, yeah. Not a chauvinist. I just enjoy the occasional beauty
just
contest.
Like women looking pretty.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh shit.
Yeah. All right. We'll leave that there for a minute.
I'm trolling myself.
You are a little, and I think it. You know, maybe we should not do that, as these people don't know us and might not know us.
Isn't it? It's just a bit of fun, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just banter. Just banter.
It's just pants.
Yeah. Don't say pants. Don't ever say pants.
Do what I want.
No, you won't. I'll fucking kill you. Not literally, of course, people. If he turns up dead, it wasn't me. Anyway, so some other stuff. A space shuttle landed, and that, you know, Body Worlds?
Bollywood?
No, Body Worlds. It's a thing.
Body Worlds?
Yeah, it's that exhibition where that guy, like, injects people with, like, plastic or something after they're dead and, like,
I thought you were talking about something like Slim Fast or
something. No. Anyway, that opened in Tokyo. I don't know if that was the first place it opened. I feel like it wasn't. But it's a thing that happened.
I've never heard of it, mate.
Really?
Body Worlds?
Yeah, so the guy... Gunter something, his name is.
He's German?
I think so, but I don't want to be racist about it. But he...
or Scandinavian, it's one of the two.
I think he is actually German. The only times I've seen him, he's wearing like a trench coat and a hat, and he does look like a Nazi war criminal doctor. So,
but he's probably a good bloke.
Yeah, I'm not saying he
is. In trouble with Gunter.
Not saying he is. No, especially as like, so his whole bag is like, what he does is...
Can't be calling Germans Nazis, mate.
I'm not positive he's a German. Anyway, so he...
if he's Scandinavian, it's alright then.
Yeah, pretty much. They suffered as much as anyone. Especially the Finnish, they had a bad time. Hands of the Russians.
And the Swedish did quite nice things in helping people out.
They did. Good lads. But anyway, so he basically, like, he gets corpses. Obviously, people donate them. And, like, he's got some process that basically preserves it.
Doesn't steal them.
No.
It's all above board, this Body World.
Like, it kind of preserves the corpse and plasticizes it. And so basically he displays them so you can see the blood vessels and stuff, and he poses them and things. It's all
like the kind of thing you see in school.
No, like the kind of thing you see in horror movies, quite frankly. Right. But yeah, it's that kind of thing. It's kind of educational.
I'll look it up.
Fun.
This Body World. I've never
Don't
heard
bother.
Of it.
It's shit. It's gone away, and with good reason. But yeah, so that's it for news and sport. Really, not a lot going on. Where are we in music and the film world, Mike?
It's not much. The only new film in the top 10 that we probably wouldn't have talked about, but I think it's a re-entry, is Braveheart.
Oh, really?
I don't think we talked about that last week.
No, we didn't. I mean, it's hard to talk about Braveheart without randomly screaming freedom for no clear reason. I'm not going to do it, but you can if you want.
No.
I've
got nothing against Scottish people either, apart from a few things, but I do find it funny that they love it so much when it is so historically inaccurate, it's a joke.
Yeah, I mean, it is, like, the inaccuracies in it are a literal joke. It's kind of weird as well. Like, if I was Scottish, and I'm not, but, like, that would annoy me.
You are half Irish, though.
I am half Irish, but, like, it would annoy me. Like, because his life, you know, William Wallace and his life, and it was all right. You didn't have to tell lies. Like, the story's good enough on its own. And William the Bruce as well gets bummed in the bum. Like, he was all right, Robert the Bruce. Sorry, not William the Bruce. Robert the Bruce.
William the Bruce.
Fucking hell. No wonder. They changed his name. It's a disgrace. But, yeah, so Robert the Bruce is like a Scottish hero. Like, that makes him out like he was...
Yeah, but he's a good lad by the end, isn't he?
Yeah, but in a little bitchy way. Like,
also, the actor who plays him does play him like a little bitch.
He really does. He is a total...
He is a total little bitch.
Yeah, it's...
Robert the Bruce.
It's bizarre. But, anyway, it's what happens.
Well, I don't know. I saw some shitty documentaries about it. Apparently he was just a bit of a mercenary.
Yeah, I mean, you get like he'd been in France and stuff.
I don't know. It's just
but yeah, I mean, who cares? Like the film itself is entertaining. You can't knock it for that. Like
film's quality. It's amazing.
I enjoy it. Obviously, one of my favourite parts about it when we're talking historical accuracy is he has sex with that prince's wife, doesn't he? You know, like Edward Longshanks' son is married to that French bird.
In the end.
Yeah, and he knobs her, and it's
so like the French next king is really Scottish.
Yeah,
it alludes to.
Yeah, so basically, like in real life, the time that William Wallace was alive and died, that girl was like 6 years old.
So not only did Mel Gibson, don't know, free Scotland, he also was a pedo.
I mean, I'm not pointing any fingers, but that is the story they're telling. Yeah. So yeah, what about music? Anything happening in the music world?
Number one, this is still on my computer. The printer wasn't working, so I'm going off memory. But number one in America was Gangster's Paradise.
Yeah, it has been for a few weeks. I think we've discussed this in the context of Dangerous Minds, which was also in the...
And, oh yeah, number one in England is Shaggy.
Which one?
The first one.
What, Mr. Boombastic?
Mr. Boombastic, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Also in the top 10, the only other thing that I don't think was on the week before is Roy Chubby Brown's version of...
Alice, who the fuck is Alice? Yeah.
That's not bad. Did he create Alice, who the fuck is Alice? Was that around before?
Right, he did the Alice, who the fuck is Alice bit. The song, the 25 years living next door to Alice was a song.
So Stuart never muttered profanities in his own song?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Sounds unlike Stuart, doesn't it?
Well, in public, anyway. I mean, he is also Scottish, so...
Yeah, he does seem a bit of a wad in private.
Yeah, muttering profanities is probably right up his alley. Not generalising, but I am generalising. It's just how I am.
He looks like a card, Stuart.
He does a bit, but he was... Actually, the other day, for some reason, I can't remember how this came up, I was watching the video to Stacey's mum. Oh, it was...
With pants around ankles?
No, because it was basically what it was. I was...
She's fit, Rachel Hunter. Jesus Christ, I would love to have an 8th of the life of Stuart.
I know.
A 15th.
Like, even when he was old, he was better than me as a young man. And fair play to
now? What are you talking...
Yeah, I know. I was like, when he was old. He's still old.
I'd swap places with Stuart right now.
We all would, Mike. We all would. But yeah, I was playing guitar at Hero at Paul's for some reason. It was one of the songs that came on, and obviously, well, it's like there's a mode where it has the video on in the background. But yeah.
What, not Paul, our old manager from...
No, Paul from Essex.
Because he was a twat?
Yeah, I met him on the street once going to yours. I was like... And the thing was, you know how... Because there's that crossing across Enfield Park Road. Like, it's the only place to cross. So I was there waiting to cross, and he was on the other side. So basically... Because like he walked up while I was stood there. I had no choice. Like, I had to say hello. Because there was no way.
Didn't have to, mate.
But there was...
You're a pussy, that's why you did it.
I am, yeah. But there was no practical way to make it look like I hadn't seen him, because I was staring at him, because he looks like a ferret, which is weird. Anyway, so...
Hopefully Paul's not listening.
Yeah, I mean, you got to hope so. Maybe he won't remember us.
He won't even know.
Yeah, we weren't that big a deal in his life.
I don't even think he knows the hatred that I have for him.
I don't think he could go on if he did, because it wasn't just us, it was everyone who worked for him.
Probably his own wife. It has to be.
Was he married?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, if he is, then yeah, you're probably right. Alright, so shall we get on to the wrestling?
Oh yeah, another film that was in that top 10, sorry, just because this got me actually thinking about wrestling, was that film Hackers.
I've never actually seen it. It's got
No.
Johnny Lee Miller in, yeah?
And Angelina
And Jolie
Jolie.
gets her boobs out, doesn't she?
I pretend that I don't know, but I know for sure that she does.
Yeah.
But it got me thinking about our friend Carlos, who is into sci-fi. He probably owns this movie. I don't know if this movie's good, but sci-fi fans and wrestling fans are the same, as in
There
they'll
is a lot
watch
of overlap.
anything.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'll watch wrestling that I know is going to be bad. I won't do
We've
it
all
with
done
anything else.
Yeah.
No, I quite like westerns, but if there's a western on that I don't like, I won't watch it or buy it.
Yeah, no, Matt's... Yeah,
Whereas
you're not
sci-fi
wrong.
fans literally... Well, our mate does anyway. He owns every sci-fi movie ever made.
Yeah, I mean, there is a film... He likes fantasy as well, by which I mean Lord of the Rings type stuff, not anything weird. But there's
Maybe he likes that. We don't know that.
I wouldn't ask. I just wouldn't ask.
Leave him to it.
But right here next to us there is a film called Warriors of Heaven and Earth. If anyone knows what that is, feel free to tell me. But it's got to be gash. It just has to. I mean, look at it. No offence on it, but look
So
at it.
he'll like things that people say are good. Like, you know, I've never watched it, but Game of Thrones is a critically...
Yeah, I mean, like the
So
Lord of the
he's-
Rings films
yeah.
are here as well. What else have we got? I mean, this is a really... got the Star Wars prequels, which are bad. Watchmen. I like Watchmen. I think it's really good.
Black Lightning,
Yeah.
which isn't a porno.
No, I think it's one of the...
It's a real life film.
Yeah, no, it is live action. Anyway, moving on from that.
So anyway, that's it. That's all I've got to say about
Yeah,
movies and
yeah,
stuff.
you're not wrong. Okay, so anyway, 18th of September, Raw, for some reason, it's listed on the WWE Universe as the 18th of September, which was a Monday. But the first thing we say is, welcome to a special Thursday night edition of Monday Night Raw. So, I don't really know what was happening there. I tried Googling it to find out why it was on a Thursday. Got 9.
So if anyone knows, yeah, give us a bell. Tell us why.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Not phone us. I'm not going to leave my number on there. Just
I
an
will.
expression.
You can phone me, guys. Don't worry about it. It's going to be a real number as well, so, feel comfortable phoning it.
If you're fit, do it.
Yeah.
Man or woman.
I might actually put a real number now, because I hadn't really thought of that.
Just
but
put someone's
fair
number
enough.
we don't like. on there.
Yeah, it'll be great. I'll put Carlos's on there. He'll love that. Anyway, yeah, so we get into Raw, has the opening, and then they have a recap of the Razor Ramon 1, 2, 3 Kid stuff from last week. Basically,
I didn't remember him crying. That was quite cool.
yeah, I
1,
didn't
2,
remember
3
that.
Kid was crying.
Yeah, to be fair, all I took away from it was it just because it's been a few weeks since we did it. Like, it just reminded me the King was awesome throughout that. Like, he did real good work there, did Jerry the King. Can't knock that shit. And then they had a match, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it goes straight into.
They reminded us that this has been going from 1993 because
Yeah,
that was when 1, 2, 3 Kid
debuted.
debuted. Well, no, he didn't debut then. I think he lost a few matches.
Oh, okay.
But when the massive upset happened,
Oh, yeah,
we all
yeah.
were supposed to believe he was a jobber, and then he beat Razor, and it was a wow. It was a wow moment. Like, no one was expecting that. He wasn't being built up as anything other than, Rad Radford.
Yeah,
And then he won.
fucking Rad Radford. Yeah, so like one of the things I noted about this match in Raw was it's the first time I can remember. Maybe it happened in one of the other ones. Vince McMahon pulling out the what a maneuver, which I enjoyed. That took me back to being a kid. Yeah, because bit of Vince, bit of what a maneuver. Can't beat that.
And the Dean was critiquing from his mobile classroom.
Yeah. All I've got written down is kind of rubbish Dean Douglas bit. Didn't really get it.
I quite like Dean Douglas. I like him. You know what I like more than Dean Douglas?
What's
How
that?
much Jerry the King Lawler likes him.
Dean Douglas. Yeah, he really is as well. The King is all over Dean Douglas. He's yeah, like, I mean, to continue the teacher analogy, he's proper leaving him an apple every day and everything. He fucking loves that shit.
So yeah, in the match it was
I liked the match, actually. I thought it was good. Like, I enjoyed it. I especially like the bit. So they had a bit where the ref, like, if there was a bit of a kerfuffle, and the ref gets knocked down and stuff, which I thought was well done. I thought that was pretty well executed. Yeah.
And they were alluding to in the match that maybe Razor was holding off a bit. He wasn't as brutal as he could have been. Because,
yeah, that was one of the. Yeah, I enjoyed that about it. Like, it had a good psychology, the match, and like it was pretty. It had a good storyline and stuff, and it was nicely executed by both men. And I thought it was decent. Good start.
A lot of teacher. What's a word there? But a lot of classroom verbiage. I don't know.
Yeah, like
at
metaphors
some point,
and analogies and
Lawler
stuff. Yeah.
said, like, it's not smart to fall asleep in class. He knows he'd suffer the consequences from the dean.
Yeah, I mean, there was a whole host of
There's
that.
loads of them.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, like it kept the thing going, didn't it? Which was decent. So 1, 2, 3 good wins, doesn't he? Like
he wins because the dean comes in, doesn't he? The ref gets knocked down.
Yeah.
Which
I thought was good
in a typical kind of way.
Oh right, sorry. Like my bit about the rubbish Dean Douglas bit's actually in a minute. Yeah, you're right.
So the ref gets knocked down. There's a collision.
Yeah.
Then the dean comes. I don't know what. It's a bit like a frog splash, but without doing the knee thing.
Yeah, and it's onto his back as well.
On his back,
standard, but
which then Razor kind of acts. Well, they say like he's knocked out.
Yeah, because he's out for a long time was one of the things I remember about it. It was like,
well, it's old wrestling rules where if somebody who's not involved in a match does a move on you, that means you're hurt 10 times more than if...
And obviously, if your own tag team partner hits you by accident while trying to hit someone else, there's a chance you'll die.
He might as well have hit you with a hammer.
Yeah, basically, he's gone out and bought a truck and run you over with it. Possibly repeatedly. But anyway, but what, like, I quite liked it because I thought, maybe it's because I've been watching, like, a lot more of the recent stuff, like, because it took 1, 2, 3 Kid so long to get the cover, but I thought Razor was going to kick out. I thought they were, building it up so he's had time to recover.
Me too.
But yeah,
I liked that it didn't. He didn't.
Well, the thing is, they're obviously, it seems like they're not done with the storyline, and basically the only way to continue this storyline is to have 1, 2, 3 Kid win. Like, if Razor wins, it's over.
Also helps the Dean out as well.
Yeah, the Dean, who isn't doing any actual wrestling, but is apparently in your house against your man Razor. So yeah, he needs to be doing something.
So then after that, he did his report card in his classroom, which I loved. I
did not love it.
I loved it.
I was just...
But again, just because of how much Lawler loved it.
Fair enough. Like, Lawler was selling it for all he was worth.
So, do you remember what grades he gave? He
gives a D for 1, 2, 3 Kid for dumb. Because he thought he's dumb because you thought you won when it was actually Dean Douglas.
The Dean.
Then E to Razor Ramon for, I can't remember what
Elevation.
Elevate, yeah, which is what you're trying to do in your house against Dean Douglas. I can't remember what A was for. Did he give himself an A? I think he did.
He gave himself an A for some reason.
And then his prediction for in your house was N for no brainer. So then obviously it's an acronym that spells Dean. At which point Jerry the King Lawler went mental. Like he cackled like a witch who has just boiled a child.
And at some point he said he's brilliant. And Vince, not to bury the D, which I like, said he's clever. There's no doubt about it.
So anyway, then we move on to so there's a tag match here. So $1 Million Corporation is a thing at this point. Apparently, I don't know if they call themselves that, but Ted DiBiase has a team of Tatanka and is it Savio? No, it's not.
No, it's Tatanka and Karma.
Yeah, the Godfather and Tatanka against Savio Vega and Sparkplug Bob Holly.
Bob Sparkplug.
Yeah.
Holly.
Whatever. But
can't even speak.
Yeah, I thought one of the things, like, Tatanka's looking a bit tubby at this point. I don't know if he always did, but you know.
And Bob Holly looks ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous.
It's just part of. He's a racing driver who wrestles. I don't even.
As you do. Although, actually, one of the things I really liked about this match, I thought, look, during the match.
Before it, Vince McMahon was obsessed with. I can't remember was it main event or somewhere? DiBiase got slopped.
Yeah, by Henry Godwin.
That's not sexual either. It's
no,
not like teabag.
If you don't remember Henry Godwin, Henry Godwin, I won't say it's the worst gimmick ever because I've not done the legwork for that.
Before because he only said his name once, so before I thought he was Hillbilly Jim.
Yeah, I mean it's the same gimmick, but anyway, so Henry Godwin, it's actually Henry O. Godwin, so that his initials spell hog.
Nice.
Yeah. So he's a hog farmer. So he has a bucket of slop that he apparently feeds to pigs, and he goes around lobbing it at people. So it happened to DiBiase.
He got slopped good, old-fashioned American hog slopped.
Not even a thing. Barely a sentence. But anyway, one of the things, I got distracted in this match a lot. It was. I basically had to keep reminding myself what I was supposed to be doing.
I zoned out a bit.
Yeah, and that says a lot. The only thing was, actually, at the times when I did concentrate a little bit, I quite liked, as ridiculous as Bob Holly is, I like the fact that the commentators were building him up as, he's this hothead and, he can't control his temper.
Vince McMahon at one point asked him whose side was he on.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't control himself. And they kept making a thing out of Tatanka and Karma being an actual tag team.
Yeah.
Whereas Bob Holly was a novice to the tag team genre. So he kept,
They kept taunting him and he tried to come into the ring. The ref would stop him, and while the ref was doing that, they'd double team Savio Vega. As you do. And I quite like that because it gave the match something.
Also, it legitimises tag team specialists.
It does, yeah, which I've got a lot of time for.
The team is better than the sum of its parts.
You know who else has got a lot of time for tag team specialists? The Usos, because they're the Usos, and there's no way they're ever going single under any circumstances. But anyway, that's not related. So eventually, DiBiase's lads win it, don't we?
Karma catches Bob Holly.
He does. He catches Bob Holly,
and I think he botches the power slam.
Seem to,
but it luckily ends. It ends kind of well because the botch makes him land kind of heavier on his head.
Yeah. I mean, it is.
Or maybe it's not a botch. Maybe that's the way it was supposed to be. But it works out okay in the end.
Yeah, it does, and it was decent. It was all right. It was,
It leads Jerry Lawler because they claim that Bob Holly's brains are scrambled to say, did you hear about Jeffrey Dahmer's mother having his body cremated, but she saved his brain for research? Well, I got the real scoop. I think it was for breakfast. You've heard of brains and eggs. It runs in the family.
He does do some good work, this Jerry.
Yeah, but you couldn't say that now, could you? He's
no,
talking about a legitimate serial killer.
Yeah. I'm not au fait on Jeremy. Jeffrey Dahmer? Jeremy? Yeah, I didn't know who it was, so I didn't get a reference.
He got vulnerable young men, raped them, and then ate them.
I didn't want to know that. But thanks for filling me in.
Well, I'm not the one making fun out of the...
Or killing or raping and killing and eating people, in all fairness.
Jerry Lawler
as far as I'm aware. I don't know what you're doing all the time. Yeah, he is. Anyway, so then there was a little Razor promo, which was decent. Obviously the thing with a Razor Ramon promo is if you've seen one, you've seen them all. But they're still individually good. So I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was,
flicks a toothpick at the end and
the
everything.
Street guy, the whole thing was, guy from the street versus the Ivy League guy.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not a bad
tried and tested,
storyline.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's decent. I mean, nice. It should work. And then I've got exclamation marks and everything after this. That pirate guy's on. Jean-Pierre Lafitte.
Even they know it's ridiculous. So now instead of they're trying to downplay his pirateness and make him a thief.
Yeah, so at this point we're informed that I don't know when this happened, but he stole Brett's jacket. He stole Brett's jacket,
Remind
people.
us that he also stole...
Brett's mum made him that jacket. And he stole... That is absolutely scandalous. What kind of a man steals a jacket someone's mum made for him? I'm really asking.
This lad?
Yeah, this lad. Jean-Pierre Lafitte, who is... They don't mention it, but I looked it up at some point. Like, in the storyline, he is actually a descendant of real-life pirate. I can't remember what Lafitte's first name was. I think it's Jean. But he was a real pirate. But this guy is not.
So during the match, it's against a jobber. I want to say... Brian Walsh. Yeah. He did good throwing himself around.
He did. Actually, this is... I mean, we'll come on to a thing here. Actually, one of my questions about several things was answered during this match. This is the only match in my wrestling watching history that I have ever seen whose entire and only purpose was to provide background watching while they held a phone call. Yeah, because how often can that come up?
The phone call was the main purpose of that match.
Yeah.
By the way, Brett phoned.
They have Bret Hart on the phone. Now, I think in a previous thing I might have said, hopefully we'll see Bret Hart. I'm missing a bit of Bret. Now, the phone call kind of answers why he's not been around.
He's doing Lonesome Dove.
He's on the set of the TV show he did, which is called Lonesome Dove. So obviously he's not wrestling at this point, or at least actively. But he's on the phone. He does all right, Bret, you know.
Lawler tells him he's going to be lonesome when the pirate steals a victory. Bret just goes on about how he's a thief and pirates don't exist anymore.
Yeah, Bret actually says, didn't know pirates were a real thing anymore. And, I mean, in one way, fair play to him, because I think we all thought that at this point. This was obviously before Somalia got it, threw its hat into the pirate ring. Because obviously pirates are back now, they're a real thing. Go watch them. Go watch them. Tom Hanks made a film about it, mate. It's real.
Yeah, but they're different pirates.
Yeah, they're not nice. They don't sing and have a Jolly Roger. Which is a shame. I think they're missing out on half of the pirate experience, at least.
I'm not going to talk about that because it's...
kind of grim. It is kind of grim. You're not wrong. Okay. So that match ends. As you say, it's a squash match. He does his cannonball move, is it? Which is...
But it's a bit like a swanton bomb without, like, extension.
Yeah, so...
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of a swanton
like a
bomb
somersault from the top.
where he kind of deliberately keeps himself a bit more tucked to make it look more like a cannonball, which is fair enough. Like, as finishing moves go, it's good, and matching the gimmick
of a big man
as
well, I was well impressed by it.
Like,
Lola tells
right.
Bret during the phone call, I quite like he tells Bret he's not going to have the taste of Lafitte in his mouth, but the taste of defeat.
Yeah, I mean, it's a play on words, people.
I enjoyed it.
I know you did.
It's hard repeating it, because the way Lawler does it with that stupid high-pitched cackling voice is
it is hard to recapture. It really is. And that led us on to the final match of this week's Raw, which was Owen and Yokozuna, not Yoko Ono, against Men on a Mission.
I'd prefer to have watched that.
I think we all would, quite frankly. Especially the other members of the Beatles.
I'd like to see how Yoko would do out of a comfort zone.
Yeah, we all would, Mike. I mean, again, especially the other members
Not
of the
the
Beatles.
wrestler, the widow of John Lennon.
Yeah. I didn't really get this match, if I'm honest.
King Mabel came on a throne, you remember?
Yeah, carried by 4 people.
And it is King Mabel because
he's king of the ring at the minute, yeah.
Which we found out.
Yeah,
and Sir Mo.
Well, yeah, obviously, if you're king, you can knight people. And if you could knight people, you'd go around doing it, wouldn't you?
Hey, tell them about the inaccuracies in rank with Sergeant Slaughter.
So, yeah, this is a very quick thing. So, Sergeant Slaughter, his minion, was it Colonel Mustafa?
Yeah.
Yeah, Colonel is a higher rank than Sergeant, people. In essence, some guy had just, gone, yeah, but I'm in charge. No, look, we're in the military. It's all chain of command. It's, nah, Now I'm in charge now, Colonel.
What's a lieutenant? Because
I don't know.
Mustafa was a lieutenant.
So lieutenant is... Well, I thought he was colonel. Lieutenant is...
No, there's colonel... One of them's a colonel and one of them's a lieutenant.
Okay, lieutenant is above sergeant, but it is below colonel. So it goes... I don't know the exact, but it goes lieutenant, lieutenant, colonel, colonel. So
for both,
And then sergeant is... Sergeant's actually a relatively low rank. I mean...
Sergeant's basically supervisor, isn't it? Where the other two are like managers.
Yeah, but I think they went with Sergeant Slaughter because of the alliteration more than thinking, you know... But it made... Like, I mean, really, they should have gone with Field Marshal Slaughter, but they didn't. Or General. General would have done. Anyway,
Where's
so...
my smokes?
Fuck knows, Mike. I don't look after your smokes. I'm not your mum. Anyway.
Pause it for a bit before...
yeah, we probably should. Alright, and we're back. So, you sorted out for smokes now, Mike?
Well, we actually did other things, like, I went for a piss, didn't I?
Well, we both did.
You watched me have a piss.
I mean,
whilst licking your lips. I don't understand what that was all about. Were you
just
hungry
for fun.
in a...
Yeah, I've not eaten this evening, so, you know.
So it wasn't about me?
No, of course not, no. And I did need a piss as well, which was why I was there, originally. I was forming an orderly queue.
So you were thinking about other things, you weren't...
Yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, that's what we'll go with. Anyway, back to the wrestling.
Okay.
So, yeah, the match felt a bit pointless, Yoko and...
they reinforced the ring at the beginning, remember?
No, I don't really remember. To be honest.
So at the beginning, because you've got two behemoths in the ring, they made a point of telling you that, like, the ring lackeys were reinforcing the ring.
Well, that was my thing with the match, actually. It really felt like it was a big build-up for, it's going to be Yoko against Mabel and they'll face off. And in essence, they just didn't.
Well, they didn't, because half of the match was Owen Hart being isolated.
Yeah.
Then the next half was Sir Mo being isolated.
Yeah.
They didn't really have that much involvement with each other.
Yeah, there was a bit where they were both in and they were like facing off and it looked like it was going to happen. And then they kind of both just didn't. It was weird and I didn't like it.
Well, we'll quickly bypass that then. Owen and Yoko won.
They did. They did.
Jim Cornette distracted the ref.
He did.
He was in Owen and Yoko's corner, if we hadn't said that before.
I think he's Owen's manager because Mr. Fuji is also there.
Yeah, both of them were there, weren't they?
Yeah.
And Owen drop toe holded
Sumo, and then Yoko does a leg drop, which, let's face it, in real life, if he actually did to you, would be fatal. Like, he is a big man. There's no two ways about that. But yeah, so and then we have a bit of a promo in the ring, don't we? Mainly Jim Cornette on the mic.
No, first there's a pre-recorded promo with Shawn and Diesel.
There is a pre-recorded promo with Shawn and Diesel, yeah.
Apparently the next pay-per-view's in Michigan,
yeah,
which is Detroit, Diesel's hometown.
Yeah.
And that was about it for that.
Yeah, it was, and they were basically doing the old, we're gonna win the tag belts as well. And,
but with being cool.
Yeah,
that's their thing.
Yeah, they are two dudes with attitudes.
Chaps with...
They want to be two chaps with all the straps. Yeah, so, I mean, you can't knock a catchphrase if they're alright. I mean, two dudes with attitudes to me makes you sound like, well, you're pricks, but, they're not really, like, on the mic and everything, they're alright. You kind of get behind them. You can't knock them for that. But then, so then it comes back to the ring and Jim Cornette is on and he does a promo about how they're not a proper tag team and because their belts will be up for grabs as well. So, for example, Diesel is world champion. If he's pinned, he loses it to whoever pins him. So, Jim Cornette's thing...
makes it pretty clear, the last time these two guys were together, they broke up like a couple of divorcees. It went wrong the last time they were... aligned.
And to be fair, I like Jim Cornette. I didn't as a younger man, but he got a good promo, and he's actually a lot of fun to listen to. Jim Cornette, like if you watch YouTube stuff.
Well, I just know it as FSM. I'm pretty sure it's Fighting Spirit magazine. Is that it?
Something like that, yeah.
But anyway, my girlfriend got me
a subscription.
A subscription, yeah. So I get it. I read it every month, and his column is really good. Yeah, I really enjoy reading him. However,
look, I don't always agree with him. I think
I am more in Vince Russo's corner for what wrestling should be now. But that's another...
yeah, that's a totally different thing. So the thing with Jim Cornette is whether you agree with him or not, he makes a good point, and he makes it with...
But I'm not a child, so I can like them both.
And he makes it... He makes his point with a lot of enthusiasm, and you can tell he believes it. Whether or not he's right, and I actually agree with Mike, I think on a lot of things Jim Cornette is not right, and like, it's not wrestling anymore, it's not the 80s, it's time to move on. But...
Also, it's a TV show.
It is very much a TV show, yeah. And especially now with no Monday Night Wars, you're answering to execs, and they wanna see certain things, and you kind of got to do it. But anyway, I liked the promo. Was basically the point of all
like
this.
The promo. I really, because we've not got much knowledge of what went on before this. We just started watching on the first Nitro, so I liked how he threw a spanner. Before this, I was like, "This is come on, everybody knows at the next pay-per-view, Shawn and Diesel are going to go over and win." But this promo made me think, well, maybe they won't. Maybe they will fall out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wasn't thinking that before this promo, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, exactly.
He made me go, I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Now I don't know who's going to win.
But yeah, that's obviously, clearly just good promo work. Yeah, it'd be interesting, mate. It can't be long away, actually, is it? Would it be next for us, in your house? It may well be. Well, we'll see.
We'll have a ganders. But, it finishes...
with a very strange Undertaker vignette that I didn't really understand. I had no idea what was happening. But
he's fighting Bulldog next week.
Yeah.
And they went back to to Vince and Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler made a prediction. Remember that?
Yeah.
He predicted that Yoko would pin Diesel.
Did he predict? Yeah, I thought he predicted Owen.
No, he predicted Yoko
would pin Diesel. Yeah. Okay, so that's it, In Your House. And I do think In Your House will be the next event that we'll be podcasting. So yeah, you need to get watching that, Mikey. Anyway, so that takes us on to WCW Nitro. You know what my first thought with Nitro was?
Can I beat you to it and then you tell me if you agree?
Yep.
I think I said this during the last podcast when we were watching the War Games. It's like the show and the pay-per-views are completely different entities.
Yeah, well, basically, it's not quite the same. I didn't think of it like that. All I thought was, fuck, Mongo's back. That was my first thought process as Nitro started.
You know what Mongo says in the first bit? Get Grandma out the bathroom, because if you ain't here, you're getting a bum stare. I don't know what even that means.
Bum stare.
A bum stare, what does that mean?
It means you're, being... directed in the wrong direction type thing.
Well,
I think.
Remind me what you were saying last time. He did that again.
Yeah, stop talking to people who aren't watching. I'm watching. Can you just address me as I'm here? Honestly, it's like he's doing that thing where, particularly you do as kids, where there's 3 of you and 2 of you aren't talking. He keeps going, Can you tell Dave that I don't like his face? It's like, mate, no. Dave's sat right there. You tell him. I'm not getting involved. Just leave it.
You know what I was thinking throughout this as well? It really doesn't look like Bobby Heenan's enjoying himself.
No, it doesn't. There's a bit later on where I noted that at some point, like you said the other time, I think Mongo's trying really hard to build up a rapport. There's a bit where Bobby just goes, "Do you always have to start on me?" Which is weird because he's the heel commentator. Why is the heel commentator going, "Mate, why have you always got to start on me? What's that about?" To the good guy colour commentator. It's very just strange.
What's the word? He's not restrained. Is that the right word? Just
subdued. I think is the word
I
you're
mean,
looking
yeah.
For,
it's a bit. I found it a bit sad because you've got Lawler at the peak of his powers. He's loving it,
cackling, and don't get me wrong. I still love the Brain's work. Absolutely love it.
Well, I love him, and I remember his
yeah, and
80s work.
I do remember his 80s work, and maybe
his own
some
chat
of that,
show. I enjoyed, but
maybe some of that is rubbing off on me. But he still does some really.
He still
great
does
stuff.
some great work. He's still a great personality, but he does seem subdued. And I don't know. I was looking at his face sometimes. He really doesn't seem like he's having fun.
No, he does seem like he doesn't really know how he got there, which is unfortunate because he's I like to say I love him. I love him a lot. But anyway, so moving on from that. Yeah, so it turns out Hogan wasn't actually killed during Fall Brawl. I mean, it really did look like he was. Let's not kid ourselves. But he is technically still alive, apparently.
Well, but at the beginning, the Taskmaster and the Giant turn up in an ambulance.
Yeah.
So, because they want to know how it must have felt to be Hulk Hogan at the end of Fall Brawl after he got killed.
Yeah, and apparently the way to do that isn't to twist your own head off. It's to get in what I really hope, for the sake of the public services wherever they were, was a fake ambulance. Because if they've stolen an ambulance, that's just not on.
So during this little vignette, I was thinking how shit the Big Show is at this point.
Yeah, he's pretty bad. There's
and I like the Big Show. He becomes a real good.
He does.
He's a really good performer. He's a really good on the mic as well. The Big Show. But,
he's good at everything. Actually, one of my just to split out like for a minute. One of my favourite things that the WWE have done recently, and by recently I mean post CM Punk, was, remember that storyline where basically the Authority were making the Big Show do things he didn't want to do? Yeah, like he was incredible for that. Because there's a bit where they get him a knockout. Is it Flair or it's someone?
Is it Dolph Ziggler?
No, because it's like a legend. It's like an old person, someone who can't defend themselves. So like he's genuinely like he's genuinely in tears as he punches a man. It's like
he's a great performer of a Big Show.
It's
wonderful
credit
to him. Like he's
come a long way.
I'm not patronising him. Who am I to talk about
exactly,
Big Show? But like he really has come a long way though.
And he definitely has. And like I think some of the stuff they were giving him.
Well, they got him to do a lot of evil villain laughing.
Yeah, they did, and like he shouts a lot for no clear reason. It's like, mate, just talk like a person.
They're still claiming that he's Andre the Giant's kid.
Yeah, they really are, and like
he says, Dad would be right beside me in my mission to destroy Hulkamania.
Yeah, I don't know how it was at the time, but now looking back, it really doesn't sit well. That like it really feels a bit weird that like yeah.
I mean, it's the wrestling business. Maybe Andre the Giant would see it as a compliment because, when Paul Bearer died, like he'd be loving CM Punk using him.
Yeah, he definitely
would. It's the biggest pat on the back, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just I don't know, but something felt just a bit weird about it. Like, if you know what I mean.
I mean, did he know that they were going to do this? I mean, how long had he been dead before?
I don't know. I've no idea. Like, he may even. I don't think he was.
But it's so obviously not true.
Yeah, that's the problem with it. Like, yeah, it's very strange. Like, because that's the thing. Like, the Paul Bearer stuff with CM Punk used him and used his character, and that seems okay to me. But like, this just seemed to, it's like, oh, Andre the Giant had a kid, and like, well, I mean, none of this is true, lads. You're making stuff up about a guy who's dead. That's weird.
Also, were they ever in the ring together? Did they?
Yeah.
Does Andre the Giant even know this guy exists as a human being?
Yeah, a bit weird. I mean, I think actually, like, when you look at where the Big Show's gone, I'm sure Andre would ultimately have been fine with it, but it's just like...
At the time, it just seems weird as fuck.
It seems weird as fuck, yeah.
Like, we don't even need to explain why it seems weird as fuck.
It does.
Just in the gut seems weird as fuck.
Okay, so anyway, after that, which was kind of shit, but we move on to a match which is billed as the American males, who seem to have some kind of
what are they,
male stripper gimmick. Yeah, I don't know.
Have I said to you, like, do you know that, like, he is now a gigolo?
Who's
Buff
that?
Bagwell.
No, I didn't know that. No, I mean, fair play to him. That is quite a way to make a living. Although you must,
with women, though.
Yeah, you must have to do some pretty upsetting stuff, I would imagine.
I'd do it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those, like, there's a lot of things that in life that I enjoy, and I think having the added pressure of you've got to do it on demand for money would really lessen my enjoyment of most of them.
If I gave you $2,000 now, would you masturbate?
In front of you?
Yeah.
I mean, probably, but you can't deny that would get weird. Like, every time I masturbated after that
I'd be like, why have I just given two?
would just not be fun. It would ruin masturbation for me, is my point. Yeah, anyway.
Masturbation on demand.
Yeah, no.
If there's anyone out there who wants it,
nah.
Well, you're going to give my number out. So.
Yeah, I am, yeah.
But
anyway, so they're supposed to be fighting the Blue Bloods. One of whom is Lord Stephen Regal, which is William Regal, yeah?
And I don't know what they call him now, but one of them's beautiful Bobby Eaton. What do they call him? Earl Bobby?
I can't remember.
Something like that.
Because they don't actually make it out. Hallam Heat attack one of them. God knows where Regal is. Before they get there, and they just take over. Also, one of the weird things here was they said that somebody, I think it was the American Males, beat the Nasty Boys at Fall Brawl. Now, I watched Fall Brawl.
Well, didn't you talk about this when in the Fall Brawl podcast that there was like a pre-show? Yeah,
apparently. I mean, and I assume that must have been what it was, but because I watched it and they weren't there. Yeah, so Hallam Heat come out and just beat up the Blue Bloods. Apparently, they've run over everyone since last night. One of my favourite sentences ever. They've run over everyone since last night. Like, they've had one day to run over everyone.
11 bar fights.
And they've got it done.
For the title.
In all fairness to them, they've got it done. And you can't knock them for that.
Oh, during this, we learned that Nick Botwinkle's the commissioner figure. Actually, the other night we were saying, like...
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I know that as well, because we were saying it. Yeah. So, I have Nick Bullwinkle with a question mark, so I can't remember what they said his surname was. But yeah, so there is a commissioner figure. He just never turns up to work.
He was a really, really massive... successful wrestler, I think with the AWA mostly.
A lot of those guys were back in the day. 1 second, it's getting a bit. Okay.
No, Chris Jericho talks really highly of him, I think. I think I've heard that. I mean, I'm not pretending I know.
Yeah.
I know in detail what I'm talking about. I've never seen this guy wrestle, but a lot of the legends in their podcasts and interviews say that this guy was a really good wrestler.
Fair play to him. Well, anyway, so yeah, but that's worth noting. I don't know if he'll show up in the future, but there is one, because we were questioning it, because on WWE, WWF, whatever you want to call it, interim president Gorilla Monsoon is a really big figure, and you know.
No, will he allow this? Or Monsoon sanction this match? It needs that, doesn't it?
I really think it does. Yeah, you need to have someone who makes these apparent decisions. Anyway, one of the things that I enjoyed about this match, by the way, and they did it all through the night, was there's some guys in the crowd who keep holding up different signs. They must have brought fucking loads. But during the start of this one, they held up one that says, "We want it raw."
Yeah, I got that.
Which, yeah, I was like, good lads. Because obviously, I mean, you know, even if you were a WWE fan at this point, WCW's coming to town, it's still wrestling, you're still going to go. So, yeah, but I
noted here as well, Bischoff said, you know when Booker did his axe kick? Is it an axe kick?
I know what you mean, I can't remember what they call it. It's like a heel
Bischoff
kick.
said it reminded him of the kickboxers he's recently seen in a K1 competition, which I didn't... Maybe we'll see more of that, but that's a very now thing. That
K1, yeah.
But a very now thing. Wrestling and mixed martial arts not being, two different entities, blurring the lines. Like it was even happening in 1995.
Yeah. It's I do remember that. It was interesting.
I don't know when he came in, but I guess are we going to see Ken Shamrock?
Oh, we'll see him at some point. Yeah.
And the other lad, was it Tank Abbott?
I don't know the other lad,
Tank
to be honest.
And what's the guy in the other guy in WWE?
Can't remember the other ones, Mike.
He had a beard.
Yeah. But, anyway,
so it was even happening back then,
Yeah. So basically, this match, like, it becomes a title match, even though it's apparently not sanctioned or something. Eventually, the American Males win because I don't know if it's direct related, but Sherry gets distracted by a thing with Colonel Parker.
Booker T's holding Buff Bagwell. Sherry's...
Oh, the Nasty Boys come in, don't they? Yeah, sorry.
Sherry's at the apron, and I think, she's going to slap him or something?
Yeah.
But just before she does, Colonel Parker comes, whisks her off the apron, and carries her back in his arms.
Oh no, Vanessa Boys don't come in. That was Fall Brawl. Yeah, but and then
Booker T tries like a power slam or something,
and the
Buff
guy
Bagwell
falls
on him. So it was a bit of a weird kind of. He was distracted, but yeah, the distraction had nothing to do with the win anyway. Really, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was strange, right? It was like, oh, but she was distracted. Yeah, but it would have made no difference. So, like, what do you want me to...
Yeah,
like, why are you saying that? Anyway, so we move on from that, which was... Like, I mean, I thought the match that was kind of nothing-y.
Before that, Macho Man advertised Slim Jims. If anybody knows what a Slim Jim is, let us know, will you?
Macho Man hawking Slim Jims.
What is a Slim Jim?
That's my note. It is like it's an American thing. Obviously, it's like I think it's like pepperoni. I think it's that kind of thing.
I wouldn't mind a Slim Jim.
Yeah, I'd eat a Slim Jim. Like he really wants you to buy them Slim Jims. Does Macho Man? And fair play to him because he's probably getting a cut. I don't know if he still is. Probably not. All
no,
things
because he's
considered.
dead, mate.
yeah, I did.
But I hope maybe he's a state does. Yeah.
I like Macho Man, by the way, on a side note. Big fan.
So, the next bit, Nate comes.
Yeah, and like I just got written
with
down
Mean
here.
Gene in ring.
Yeah, I just have written down here. Flairsy being Flairsy.
You know what?
That's all you need to know.
And if you listen to Flairsy in his interviews and stuff, he really hates this point of his career. Like he reckons he was drained of confidence and he was like at his lowest ebb and stuff. The man's
still good.
I still really enjoy what he does.
Yeah, I mean, like this promo is, as I say, I just wrote Flairsy being Flairsy because if you're familiar with Ric Flair, if you're familiar with how he cuts a promo, if you're familiar with the quality he generally delivers.
So he's talking about in this promo the match at Fall Brawl and how Brian Pillman got involved, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he eventually lost to Arn Anderson via Brian Pillman's involvement.
Yeah.
And he accuses Arn of bringing an outsider into Forbidden Land, and it's all about you broke the code, mate.
Yeah, I mean that's the big.
We're bad lads, but
you broke. There's a code and you broke it, and like it's a great promo. Like it. I mean maybe great.
Flair does a lot of silly shit, right? But central to his message is always really real. Is what I've seen so far.
No, I mean this was like it was good stuff. But anyway, again, it's
look at me talking like I can't believe Flair's really good at the mic.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't. But that's it. Like it's a bit like football, you know. Who's the best player ever? Pele. I've only seen highlights of him on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
How would I even know?
And you can go further back than that. Like there's people like Di Stefano who people will make a case for, and it's like, well. Never even seen him play. Never seen him kick a ball, lads. But there's people who swear by him. Like Fergie swears by him. Fergie claims he's the best player ever.
Fergie's old and has seen him.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean that's the point. Like it's who's around. Anyway, there is after this a really strange match, which was Paul Orndorff, fresh off his weird, like psychological break / self-confidence boost, whatever the fuck that was. And he's got glorious new music.
Wonderful. He's Mr. Wonderful.
Like
you know he's so wonderful, and he knows it too. I've said that in. It's not like that, but they're the words.
Yeah, and it is glorious. Like I was
it's
absolutely
like this
loving
eerie woman.
Yeah.
In a kind of operatic. Way.
It is sensational. It's worth looking up. Obviously, the guys keep going on about how horrible it is, but it's not. It's glorious. But like, what was odd about this match?
It's terribly glorious, and he reminds me. He's wearing it's a new outfit, new music, new attitude. Yes. So apparently, this is like the first time he's done this thing,
which makes sense given what happened at Fall Brawl.
And remind me what happened at Fall Brawl. I remember.
So he's in his dressing room.
Just remind me of that guy.
Gary Spivey comes in with clearly wearing a wig, and basically he convinces him that he's Mr. Wonderful by just saying you're Mr. Wonderful. And repeatedly.
He's a believer now. So,
now, what I found really odd about this match...
I wrote down, before you go on, he reminds me a bit of Rick the Model Martel. He's got this little mirror
he has
thing.
a mirror.
Pink
Keeps
underwear.
That's a really good comparison, actually. Yeah. Fair play to you, Mike. But anyway, like what I found really odd about the match was like it's his first one after the thing. So
what thing?
After his change of after character almost.
By
so
Spacker.
So he's got this new. He's rebranded. He's a new Paul Orndorff. He's Mr. Wonderful again. So his first match, he's got to win his first match. His first match is a squash match. That's basically how it's going to go. But it's against Johnny B. Bad, who is like a real guy. Like I don't know why Johnny B. Bad is in there. He's got his own stuff going on.
Cape, it says when you're hot, you're not
hot. No, I think it says when you're hot, you're hot.
Or maybe it was a crease.
Yeah, I think it says when you're hot, you're hot.
I thought he was making like a statement, like if you're narcissistic and self-centered, then you're not hot.
I don't think Johnny B. Bad was that deep, mate, if I'm honest.
But looking at him, I was like, I'm very confused.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening there. Anyway, Orndorff wins with a roll-up. It's not a great match.
But he wins with that move which Bret Hart made famous in the SummerSlam match with British Bulldog.
Small packaging.
Well, yeah. Johnny B. Bad tries a sunset flip.
Yeah.
And then
he drops on him.
Just sits on him.
Yeah. Anyway, and then we go to basically on set with Baywatch. Apparently, the WCW were doing something with Baywatch. The Taskmaster assaults Macho Man, which is a bit strange.
When he's doing some bench press.
Yeah, and just keeps yelling 5 more for no reason. Because, I mean, he's choking him while screaming 5 more, which I think is unreasonable.
I couldn't, because I was watching it on my laptop, I couldn't make out the honeys. Because Macho Man's being cheered on by an assortment of Baywatch chicks,
yeah.
Who was in Baywatch at the time? It didn't look like Pamela
I don't know,
Anderson.
didn't see anyone
I know
that
Pamela
I recognised. Yeah, saw no one I recognised, and I would recognise some people from Baywatch. But anyway, and then Macho Man gets a promo.
Macho Man is saved, if you remember. He's saved by Ric Flair.
And some other people, yeah.
No, and the Baywatch lads.
Yeah.
Who I don't
it's a bit of a strange one, because it doesn't really become a thing. So they ask Macho Man about it, and he says, thanks, but no thanks to Ric Flair. And then, like, my favourite bit of this promo is, I can't remember what it was about, but Macho Man is saying, like, he's saying something about someone, and he goes, like, say he says, oh, but he hates most of it. He goes, I mean, you're really, really bad. which oh no, it's about Hulk Hogan. He's saying he's a terrible judge of character.
Well, I'll get to this bit.
And then he goes, I mean, you're really, really bad.
But before this, your man's, what's his name? Mongo. Because, we're watching it on the network, but where there would have been an ad break, before this bit, he comes back and he says, people get out of the refrigerator, the commercial's over. This is more action than a rooster sees in a hen house.
Yeah, he's weird, Mongo.
Right.
But we don't want to push this too much, but you may sense that within the room here, Mongo isn't really getting over.
Well, is it, I mean, you tell me, guys, is it because we're English and we don't...
It could be, I don't know. I think some of it as well is Mongo's quite new to this, and he's like, he's not a commentator. He's a sportsman himself. I'm informed a good one. I believe he won a Super Bowl, but
he's probably a good lad. I don't hate him. He just makes me feel weird.
Yeah, like he does give me that impression. I've met a lot of guys like this. He's not a bad guy. He's just trying too hard. You don't have to try this hard, Mongo. Just relax, be yourself.
Also, he's doing more of this stuff than Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Yeah, it's so weird.
He's doing all this crap, and Bobby the Brain Heenan is just sitting there looking like he wants
borderline
to die.
Depressed. Yeah. Well, and I've mentioned that I love Heenan. Most, like for the other ones that Heenan's been in, I've always written down at least one of Heenan's quips because I love them.
There wasn't many.
There wasn't anything.
Mate, I went, as you can tell, guys, by the way, I apologise. I'll say it with more gusto next time, but I wrote a lot of stuff down this week. A lot of, like, monologue-y stuff that I found, like, really funny. I was watching this episode with bated breath for a Heenan gem.
Yeah, there was nothing from him here at all.
It just didn't come.
Anyway, I think then Luger came out for this Macho Man.
Yeah, so
he's dead pointless.
Macho Man's he's saying he's saying that he's going to kill the Taskmaster like a snake. He's going to whip his head off. And yeah, he's saying that he goes on and on about Luger cheap shotting him at War Games. And he reckons it's not just Luger, he reckons Jimmy Hart and Sting were in on it too. He's getting all paranoid, basically.
He is, yeah, but you gotta love that.
And then Luger comes to the ring to confront him. And tells Match over the reason why he's acting like this is because he's jealous and he's trying to hide the fact that he wants the title too. It's like, don't call me a fucking...
Yeah, which even Macho admits is a good point. So
yeah,
that's nice.
He says it's a good point. Luger does he's sick of playing with kids again. He wants to play with the big boys.
Yeah,
and,
the police are
what
sick of him playing with kids as well, I heard.
Luger is sick of being a criminal. He just wants to be a normal lad.
Anyway,
fair play.
At this point, we get to see after that promo, we get to see Hogan's bike be crushed by the Giant, which is it's such a weird thing because he drives up on this Harley Davidson, and there's a small crowd of people, and it goes on for a little bit, and you can see them get gradually more tired of pretending to be happy that he's there.
Well, they're doing a lot of whooping,
and then as it gets to the 5-minute mark, they're just
thing,
they're just like, this is shit.
Do we still need to keep jumping up and down? And
then as often happens in these situations, a monster truck comes out of nowhere and crushes his bike. I can't tell you how often that happened to me as a child. I'd leave my bike somewhere, monster truck, over it.
And then Hogan, then there's the Giant maniacally laughing in his monster truck with Hulk Hogan beating up the monster truck.
Just banging on the door and just
being really upset at that monster truck.
Yeah, I mean, he's angry. There's no two ways about that. And then we get the main event, which is Pillman against Flair. Good match. Good solid match. Not amazing.
Nice and quick. It was like 9 minutes.
It wasn't a long one. It wasn't an all-time classic, but it was a good match.
One of the commentators during it, I think it's probably Bischoff, they're really pushing this. They're like, what's up with Hogan? What's up with Pillman? He's changed.
Yeah,
he tried. Pillman's doing real, proper heel, dirty pins. He's doing a bit of slapping and smack talking. Is that a real thing?
Smack talk. Well, no, but it is what
talking
they call
smack.
It. Talking. Yeah, well, you can use either. I think.
Smack talking.
Yeah, I think you can say that.
Right, he's doing.
I'm no expert, but I think you can.
He's doing a bit of that. He's being a bad guy, basically.
He is, yeah. And I mean, eventually Flair wins. Flair wins clean with a figure four, doesn't he?
I remember thinking at the time, can we just have that again, please? I've got so used to people not giving up with the figure four.
Yeah.
By the time
this is a real annoyance.
Brett's got the sharpshooter on. Well, he's not going to win, is he?
Yeah, like
Flair's got he's got the figure four on. Oh, Cena's he's not, is he? It's boring. Like this thing of now, people having specialist submission moves.
Yeah, no one taps out anymore.
First time either.
No, I'm like it's
it
a
was
problem.
So good where it was like, right, Flair's. He's got it on. Yeah, Pillman's got no chance. He's got no other option.
Yeah, I really miss the days of like submissions are one of the worst for it. I'll give you that, but of just a finisher being a finisher. So the point where basically Brett was the first person to kick out of Perfect Blacks after years. People just didn't kick out of finishers, and
Taker was the first person to kick out of a DDT.
Yeah,
Jake the Snake's DDT.
They were big things. Someone kicking out of a finisher was like, oh, this is massive. He's kicked out, but now it's just basically
false finishes are boring.
Yeah, a main event at any WWE pay-per-view these days will have at least 3 finishers in it. They'll each hit one. They'll each be a false finish, and then depending on what it is, they'll have at least one more to finish it. Actually, the only time it was any good was for Triple H Undertaker match, but that was when they went with so many false finishers that it actually got to the point of Yeah, actually, like now I'm just curious to see who doesn't kick out, which went quite well. I felt. Like it wasn't a great match.
These are just my thoughts, and I'm nobody, so it doesn't, it doesn't really matter what I say. But watching this, wrestling's really got to have a rewind, I think.
I mean, that's what I would do with it. Yeah. Anyway, so I mean that was basically the end of Nitro. Although what I found really weird about Nitro was like the very last thing on it is just Bobby Heenan just going, something's going on in the back. I mean, but it just ends.
I think I was eating my sausage sandwich.
Yeah, I'm sure you probably were. That's the kind of thing you would do. But yeah, he just says there's something going on in the back as it ends. Maybe we'll find out next week what that was. But yeah, just ends. All right. So anyway, that's both of the shows. So we got to pick a winner, Mike. Got to pick a winner.
Oh, we were talking about this when I was having my pee.
It's a tough week to pick, in my opinion.
I was really excited for Raw after last week, although my brain was bombarded with shite. But I don't know whether it was because it was the first week on Sky Sports, the last episode of Raw, or whether it was just because it was the first Raw after a promo. A pay-per-view. But it was really down a level this week.
Yeah. Raw in particular was a lot worse than it was last week. It wasn't a great week. Like Nitro didn't particularly up its game either. Like this was
Nitro was probably a bit better.
Yeah, possibly.
But it's still shit.
Yeah, this was the first week where we've done this.
Honestly, I don't really care if anyone listens to this, mate. This is going to be an epic,
This could get grueling if it carries on like this.
No, mate, it was grueling for me to watch.
Yeah, to watch both were like I thought Raw was.
What am I doing with my life? Right, I've had a shit day at work.
Raw was real pointless this week, but none of the matches had any purpose whatsoever, and I would give Nitro the win for that because at least Pillman Flair there were things happening there That's, there's a storyline there.
Nah, I'd give Raw the win, mate. I can't.
Can't give it Nitro.
I can't, mate. I can't. I know what you mean, but that's like... Well, we're going to do a lot of these football analogies. That's like giving the award of World Player of the Year to somebody who isn't Messi just because Messi scored 35 goals instead of 50.
Yeah, all right. That is a fair point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the cold light of day, the only match that I thought was really good this week, Flair Pillman was solid, but it wasn't amazing. I mean, the best match was definitely Razor against 1-2-3 Kid for me.
See, I'd say the best match was probably Flair's match, but
okay,
I did like 1-2-3 Kids, but just production, just commentary.
Yeah, I mean, again,
I've got to give it Raw, man.
Yeah, maybe the commentary just edges it. I think the in-ring product this week from maybe it'll come up again.
I can't remember the minutia, but the feeling in the gut was definitely Raw.
Yeah, I think, and this may come up again.
And I really tried to.
One of the things with Raw this week was it really felt to me that roster is paper thin. Without Shawn, without Brett, to a lesser extent Diesel, there's no one there. There's no one there to carry it. Everything else is better, but that roster needs something doing with it because it's paper thin.
WCW's
it's much better, but no, I agree with you. So we're going with Raw again, I think, for the win, just because it is a slightly easier watch.
Shite. But
basically, WCW is bad at this point. It really is.
It's a bit like a new shop.
Yeah.
It's have you got a bag? Or the bag's over. It's like, McDonald's. Everybody WWE's like McDonald's. And there's your bag. There's your receipt. This guy will do that.
I'll tell you what I'd go with. At the minute, WWE's KFC. Mm-hmm. WCW is currently it's Tennessee Fried Chicken on Brixton High Street. It's this just isn't as good in any department, lads.
But if that lad's on, it's better.
Yeah.
But if he's not, it's shit. If it's for other chef, there's no...
It's very... There's no backup. It's all on, it's all on... Basically, the in-ring talent have to knock it out of the park or it's going to be worse. Alright, so, that brings us to the end. Another win for WWE. It makes it 2-0. So...
How long have we got to wait till it properly happens?
I don't know, Mike. I really don't know.
Because this feels like
a little while.
At the minute.
It is going to be harsh. It's I think we've got 6 months. It's a long time. Anyway, let's call it a night for the evening. Let's get drunk and forget the fact that we have 2 jobs currently thanks to this. Alright, everyone. So, check us out next week. We'll be back.
Just so you don't get the wrong idea about me.
Is there anything to follow that up at all, Mike? Or just silence?
I was just going to say something about how I love women, but I don't. Yeah. So...
Okay. I think we're probably going to edit this bit out, if I'm honest.
But I'll leave it in.
Yeah, fuck it. We'll leave it in. Whatever. See you later.
But I do like women.
Bye now.